He may not be a famous frontman, but Mark Ronson is the behind-the-scenes rock star responsible for some of the biggest songs of the last 2 decades.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Self-proclaimed King of the Horns has brought us everything from this all-time favourite dance floor ditty to this Oscar-winning heartbreak ballad. He's made his mark by creating unforgettable sounds, and in his new series he takes us behind the scenes with some equally unforgettable friends to show us how it's done.
Pure genius, Mark.
Pure genius, I meant.
Mark, welcome to the project. Congratulations on the series. Why did you want to make this series particularly looking at sounds rather than particular songs?
We don't realize how much these sounds and these technologies are the reason for the records that we love. And especially now as music is getting more technology driven, all our favorite songs are a result of these technologies. And I love talking about and studying and learning about this stuff.
And we see you learning in the series. In fact, there's this fantastic moment where you're sitting down with DJ Premier, who you love, and he's showing you some stuff, and you just burst out by saying, "I've been doing it wrong for 30 years."
Been doing it wrong for 30 years.
Just a sensational moment to watch. How much more really is there for you to learn?
All of it. I mean, there's so much. Every time I'm, with somebody, one of my heroes, a producer, or even some young up-and-coming producer who's showing me some new software, you never stop learning.
Had you really been doing it wrong for 30 years?
Yes.
Well, wrong or right, Watch the Sound follows Mark's continued experimentation with technology and the impact it's had on making music.
I started going a little more weird space sounds, and it was less melodic, but now it's just the ding, ding, ding. I didn't even have the sample part yet, just the ding, 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 ding.
Nas, you ready? Ready when you are, Prince.
You have this great quote in one of the episodes where you say, "We seem to be on this inevitable march towards removing the human feel from music altogether." Is that something that you worry about?
I guess sometimes I think about it, but then somebody like Travis Scott or somebody will come along and do something beautiful and amazing with it. And then I feel all the human and all the emotion. So I think it's a little bit of both.
On his own records, Mark has collaborated with some of the most progressive stars in the world. Now we see him sit down with other artists known for breaking boundaries, like Dave Grohl, Kevin Parker and Sir Paul McCartney.
When we arrived at Abbey Road, it was post-war. We were kids. We couldn't even come in the main entrance. So we were hardly ever allowed in the control room. And they gradually got to all right, we know you're going to want to push it.
One thing that we forget about is the Beatles were so all about technology and pushing stuff forward. So, the drum loop that he made for the song Tomorrow Never Knows. And that's one of the first drum loops in pop music, and it sounds like the Chemical Brothers. So yeah, when you're talking to Paul McCartney, you want to ask him 1,000 things. And when he says the thing about if John were alive today, he'd be using auto-tune, not to fix his voice, but because he loved playing with his voice. And then we cut to Sean Lennon, John's son, saying yeah, my dad hated his voice. Now, we all know John Lennon has an amazing voice. If John Lennon didn't like the sound of his voice, then none of us have a chance. But it's just so interesting to talk to these guys, and they just were constantly no, we need to make it new, and we need to make it better, even the Beatles.
Mark is recently engaged to actress Grace Gummer, daughter of Hollywood royalty Meryl Streep. After finding out he DJ'd at Paul McCartney's wedding, I had to ask, surely it means you're now in a position to ask him to return the favour and play at your wedding?
I still don't think we're quite on an even enough par that I can just ask him like that, I've got 2 wedding songs that people would know, he's got about 300, so yeah. But I like the fact that you asked.
Well, thank you, but I think you should try. At the very least, if it comes off, then I can say it was my idea or something.
I'm sorry, but I'm definitely not going to ask him, but I still like you, the way you're thinking.
Well, I love the way you're thinking, and I love the show. Congratulations on it again. Thanks so much for speaking to us tonight.
Great, thank you.
Watch the Sound with Mark Ronson premieres this Friday on Apple TV Plus with the soundtrack out the same day.
With so much content online, it's sometimes hard to keep up with it all. And let's face it, who has the time? The Project YouTube has you covered with the stories that matter. Hit subscribe for a daily list of the news that you need to know.